room and in the media center a little bit. Students will have limited access to websites. If students need help with anything, then they are encouraged to ask their peers for help or me for help. I do like for them to learn a little bit on their own and not just come to me for every little thing. They can learn a lot from their peers. Troubleshooting, researching online for possible answers and solutions, and reaching out to others that may have more knowledge or experience with this. So for Standard 6.3, Criterion 21, in this artifact, I provide evidence of computational thinking process. Each step is outlined and each step explains the learning activities. So you can see how I decided to implement my instruction. We will use the engineering design process. We were given a list of various ones that we could choose from, and that's the one that I chose, which involves empathize, define, ideate, and prototype and test. Sorry. It's ask, define, understand, plan, create, and improve. I was reading my wrong notes there. So they get to do that, and that is what they'll be doing by understanding the need for education, planning what career they're going to take, making sure that they know the salary range, job outlook prior to starting that budget, and that goes into their actually understanding, planning, and creating, because then they're going to create the budget. And then the other part was that how do you provide opportunities for your learners to apply the components? They'll be introduced to the process of creating a budget and the steps that are involved, and this is decomposition. Students are encouraged to seek advice from their parents, peers, or others that have experience with creating a budget and discussing possible problems that may come up, and this would be considered pattern recognition. Students must ignore non-important items they wish to buy, account for within their budget. This is abstraction. As students work through their budget, they may encounter issues with affording various items listed within the budget, and they must come up with ways to solve those problems. And that would be algorithms. So the students really enjoy creating the budget, and if you notice, I use this for a lot of different things. It's really pertaining to real life. So Standard 6.4, Criterion 22. In this artifact, I demonstrate my own creativity in designing opportunities for my students to be creative and provide evidence of opportunities for my students to share their final product and receive peer feedback. And once again, this was all in our planning, our proposal. And so when those questions were asked, how do I demonstrate creativity and creative problem solving for your learners? Students are allowed to choose their profession, and they must research to obtain the average salary of that particular job. Students realize sometimes that they cannot afford the standard of living they currently have in real life or the standard of living they are creating within their budget. Then students will need to decide how they can make the budget work as is, start over completely, or change some of the choices they have made. And I like just allowing the students to have that freedom. You know, if you want to pay extra for a different type of car, you've got to cut your budget in some other area, and all of this is real life. So what opportunities are you providing for your learners to express their own creativity? The entire budget is their creation. They're choosing their profession, the type of housing they have, the type of car, insurance, savings, groceries, and if they can afford health care or not, or even savings. Students will be sharing within a group. They'll actually compare their budgets and ask questions. And once they finish their group discussion, each student must answer questions pertaining to that conversation. A lot of times I'll ask them, what surprised you the most? What did you have to give up? And usually it is taxes that surprises them the most. Do I provide opportunity for peer feedback? Yes, of course. When they're working in groups and they're talking, that's peer feedback. Now, if they want to present to the class, I'll allow them to do that as well. Do you encourage this creativity using technology, resources, and tools? Of course. They must use a device to research their jobs, apartments, homes, cars, of course, calculators. Students may watch videos pertaining to the budget that we may have on Nearpod or that I may put on Google Classroom. Students are also encouraged to call and inquire about specifics of renting an apartment, such as pets, pet fees, deposits, things like that. I love the use of technology in the classroom. And if students even have a different way that they may want to suggest in creating their budget, a budget doesn't have to be just on paper. The budget can be in any format that they want to submit. And I think that also helps them stay engaged as well. Thank you.